Hello, Sebastian.
Hello.
Welcome to the Global Innovation Field Trip.
Yep. Now, I've done a little presentation. I don't know whether it's helpful on what are robots.
Before you start talking about robots, why don't you talk about you? Who are you? What is your company?
So, when I was a child, I wanted to be an inventor. I'd read a book called Professor Brainstorm, and it was all about this guy, Professor Brainstorm, who was a inventor. So that was my thing, and I went to school and I learnt about. So when I was at school, I was quite dyslexic, and that sort of meant that I didn't fit in very well academically, but nevertheless, I was obviously quite bright, and I was great at making things. And my father, who I suspect was also quite dyslexic but never admitted it, encouraged me to make things. And he didn't take me to football matches, but he did take me to factories. And last Friday I went to the Rolls-Royce aero engine factory, which was rather exciting for me. But so my hobby is visiting factories, and I've been to some pretty amazing factories around the world. So can I share my presentation?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is what I want to share. Right, so whoops, I just put that there. So there we are. There's me.
We see it. We see it.
All right. So when I was a child, I wanted to be an inventor, and here is me in 1958. And there's my Golden Spanner Award for metalwork, which was I was so good that they had to invent the award for me. And there is me training as industrial design engineering. And I went on to design all sorts of things, wheelchairs, and well, this is actually when I'm in this picture, because I was so good at making things, I managed to find myself as roadie for the Clash. So I had a good couple of years out as a rock and roll roadie. And that was great fun. And then it was back to something, back to industrial design engineering. And recently I find myself, well, I say recently, it's about 7 years ago, I found myself as designer in residence at University of Sheffield's engineering faculty. And I found myself very interested in the robotics work they'd done. And I had a kind of different view of robotics to all the rest of them. And so what I've done is I've put this little presentation together about what I think about robotics. When do you think I should start presenting it, or am I already live?
You're live. This is your presentation.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, you can see. So Professor Stephen Hawkins is saying, robotics and AI is likely to be the best thing or the worst thing that's ever happened to humanity. So there's a great value in getting it right. Now, when you speak to people about robots, they sort of think about these sorts of things. And most of these things are humanoid, but we've had robots for quite a long time. I mean, if you look at a sewing machine, here's a robot that we've had for hundreds of years, designed in America. And when it first came on, people thought that robots were going to take away people's jobs. But in fact, actually, the sewing machine created millions of jobs and a huge demand for textiles. So the benefit of it is we all have more than a couple of sets of clothing in our wardrobe. And robots we've been using for the last 50 years in building cars and automotive. And they've been great users of robots. But these robots, they can only do one thing, and you can program them to just spray a car, and it's that car, and it can't do anything else. So this is what we call a single-use robot. Here's a robot we've designed recently. This we designed for a UK company called Ocado, and it's what we call a pick and place robot. So this rushes around a warehouse and picking up stuff from underneath it and placing it somewhere else. So we made them different colors so that you get a better sensation of swarming. And here you can see them actually in action. I mean, not live, but you can see, so it's the equivalent of an Amazon company, but the UK, and it's sorting out all the stuff. And this is well over an acre large, and there's 2,000 robots on it. But it's going to be a long, long time till we meet the Rachel the Replicant robot, as seen in Blade Runner, popular 1982 sci-fi movie. One of the reasons for this is that, you know, to replicate my brain or anyone's brain, a human brain, in fact, you need something about this size, and it's going to cost about $1 billion a year in energy costs, and it will probably need an ocean to cool it. So fitting all this in a human-sized object is going to be quite a long way away. So what it means is that if we make humanoid robots, they're going to be fairly disappointing compared to a real human. I mean, nobody's actually made a robot that could come in a room and pick up a water bottle, unscrew the lid, and pour me a glass of water. Something that a toddler human could do. We've got nowhere near being able to have a robot that could, you know, do what a one-year-old human child can do. But what we can do is actually replicate the behavior of a small mammal. Not exactly, but we can, it's easier to do this. So rather than trying to replicate a human being, we lower the bar, lower the expectations to make something that is slightly pet looking. And so we looked at various small mammals, and we found, for instance, that dogs and predators had their eyes fairly close together and on the front of their head, whereas prey, and like cattle and bunny rabbits, have their eyes on the side of their head. So when we were designing MiRo, we actually needed to have forward-facing cameras, but we have got the eyes appearing to be on the side of the head, so it makes them look less threatening. And here you can see us doing some early drawings of what the MiRo might look like. I mean, we covered hundreds of sheets of paper with these sorts of sketches. So there. And here is the result. Now, this is a Mark I MiRo, and it's designed to, it's a hybrid of different domestic animals, and it's designed to be emotionally engaging. So the first thing everyone asks me when they see a MiRo is, what does it do? Well, it doesn't make a mess over your carpet. It doesn't need to be eat, and it doesn't need to be taken on a walk. It doesn't need to go to the vet, but it can exhibit sort of friendly, familiar, non-threatening, playful behavior, and it's sort of emotionally rewarding. It can recognize your facial expressions and understand your mood. It can be voice controlled to follow your commands and queries. And, you know, I mean, how about having, you know, who doesn't speak to their pets here, you know? And so the other thing is that, you know, how many people have got pets that could obey 100 voice commands, or 20, or 10, or even 1? But, you know, how many people have got a pet that could actually pick up the phone and make a video call or something like that? And the other thing it can do is find its way around and recognize the user, and it can charge itself when it's tired. So we developed this originally as a platform for use in universities and by researchers, because there was nothing really available at that sort of price point. This is what we first did, and then we felt that we needed to evolve it more. So we put in made it upgradable and more easy to work with. And this is the current version that we have, which we call the MiRo E. E for education, E for engineered, E for evolved. That's what it means. And so we've been using it now in schools for about a year, and we've just released the public version of it, the MiRo code cloud, which I hope people have discovered, and that was launched well, officially last month. And it's very straightforward to use. You can do it as a Blockly drag and drop, or you can click on a you can also convert this to more sophisticated Python code, or it can use ROS, which is what they tend to use in advanced robotics labs. But for undergraduates and people in sixth form, it's the Python is ideal. The difference between, one of the benefits of this is that you don't actually need to have a physical MiRo to learn how to program it, because it's got a digital double or an avatar of the MiRo, which you can see in the on the right hand side of the screen. So what you do is you write in all the code, and then you click on simulate, and then it will do what you've programmed it to do. And then when you are happy with what you've got, and you've got a MiRo, a physical MiRo, you can download this behavior onto your MiRo by pressing the launch button. Sorry, this is an early version of the interface, so it's slightly different from what you've been doing. Other things we've been working on are the Omni table, which is, why have a robot that that mimics nature? Well, what would happen if we had a robotic table? A table that would come when you wanted it to do. And it could go and fetch things, or it could move stuff around, which would be ideal maybe in a hospital situation. So rather than calling a nurse, you could actually get the table to come to you, and you could get it to go and get you a meal, get you a glass of water. It can go up and down ramps and things, and it can adjust in height. This is a product that we've been working on in the background. It's going to be a while before we're able to launch it, but it's the sort of robots that we're going to be having that we call assistive robots in the home. So it's going to have a simple arm and gripper, and it's also got what we call omni wheels, which will let it move from side to side. Because one of the things that we worked out was that in a hospital situation over bed, You wanted things that could move in any direction. So at the moment, there have been lots of research into trying to make assistive robots, but at the moment they're all very large and very, very expensive, and none of them are autonomous or have the capabilities of a MiRo. So yes, a MiRo can't do anything like this, but the MiRo is here and it's affordable. It's here now and it's affordable. So MiRo is just, you know, the first baby step towards something like this. And you can pet it. So this is a diagram of how a MiRo might work with other products in the home to give you assistance. So if you're elderly, living alone, or you're alone at home, a lot of reason why people go into care homes is because they're worried that they may have a fall and no one will come to see them or discover them. So it's a perceived problem rather than actual problem is often the case. So we've designed this wristband, which has got a little alarm. So you tug on your wristband and it will set off the alarm and calls help. But it's also got a beacon and a fall sensor, and it's got vital signs, so it can tell, you know, what your body temperature is and what your heart rate is like and what your blood pressure is like and your blood oxygen levels. And so this is what we call a user experience study. So this is just working out as a designer how this thing will work. So we create these storyboards to understand how things might be used. The other thing that we're useful in your home is to have this thing, a universal monitor. Actually, it just replaces a smoke alarm in the home. So it acts as a smoke alarm, but it can also notice movement in the home and location. It can't actually see you as like an eye, but it sees you as a moving object, and it can track you round the room. So if you had a critical event scenario like a stroke, or you tripped and you fell, or you blacked out, or something happened in your home, the fall detector might notice, the overhead monitor might notice, a MiRo might notice that you're not doing what you usually do. A MiRo could come over, and MiRo doesn't usually talk, but in emergencies, it might come over and say, "Are you okay? Shall I call for help?" And if you don't answer, it says, "I am going to call for help." And if there's no response, it will dial a pre-programmed number, which might be, you know, your daughter's mobile phone, or a call center, and it will see what is happening. It will be able to look through the MiRo's eyes and sense what something is happening, and get very quickly get help to the scene. Now, the important thing about this is that with a stroke, the quicker the response, the less likely I mean, they say, you know, 1 hour on the floor is another day in the hospital. So if the response takes 8 hours to get to you, that's 8 days in hospital. But so the current MiRo we've got is perfectly capable of doing this. All it needs is the programming. And that is why it is so important to learn coding and to do this sort of thing. And so in order to make it have facial recognition and to behave in this autonomous manner, we need the MiRo to be taught how to do things and learn how to do things. So thank you very much indeed. Oh, that's a bit of a jingoistic. Oh, that's the outside of Tokyo, the UK embassy in Tokyo. So thank you very much. Is that helpful to you?
That was fantastic, Sebastian. Absolutely fantastic. Um,
Okay. Yeah, good. There we are. I've got it back.
just,
Good.
just to let you know, okay, you may be at the Tokyo embassy, okay, and you may be talking to Gift, which is going all over the world. But tomorrow there is a group called the Connecticut Robotics Society, and I am going to show your video to that group of robot
Okay.
enthusiasts. So that is the pinnacle of success in the robotics world.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Right, I see that there's a few questions here. Oh, right. No.
So
Your internal one.
I wanted to mention though, I guess it never occurred to me that a sewing machine, as simple as that, is considered a robot. That's
Yeah.
really, really interesting. And especially some of the ones now that you can program to do certain kinds of stitches or certain things at a push of a button. I guess they are.
That humans would find quite difficult to do. I mean, if you think of a lot of the robots that we have, they don't do it the way a human would do it. Now, if you look at your dishwasher, which is a robot, it doesn't wash your dishes the same way as you would do it, but it's very effective. But it's a single-use robot. It can only do one thing. But it's fairly autonomous because it can understand how dirty the dishes are, or the types of things to do. Whereas the sewing machine just needs to be guided. So it's a different level of an electric window in a car is a robot to a certain extent. The difference between a MiRo and a dishwasher is the MiRo has the capability of being autonomous and finding its way around the room. There's very limited artificial intelligence in a dishwasher. There is some, but very limited. There's the artificial intelligence in a sewing machine is a human being guiding it. I mean, there is no AI in the sewing machine. But so there are all sorts of different robots in the world today. There's self-driving cars. They're single task robots. They're capable of some autonomy because they obey a strict set of rules on how to drive. But they're not. What we're trying to do is develop fully autonomous robots which you can just leave and they can look after your home and wander around, say if there are problems going on and things like that.
Sebastian, we have a few minutes left in your session, but can you talk about the Teach MiRo contest? Because tomorrow at 10 o'clock, this is New York time, and you have to adjust for your own time.
Oh, no, don't worry about that.
But tell them about this contest that you instituted, and we're going to be showcasing the finalists tomorrow.
So learning to creative coding is really, really important. By creative coding, I'm not just talking about any old coding. I'm talking about people using their imagination to code. So it's just not a mechanical, doing equations and mathematics. It's actually using your imagination. In the same way, I mean, that anyone that has won a Nobel Prize has won an award for imagination. You don't get a Nobel Prize unless you've got a pretty good imagination. And so what we're trying to do is encourage kids all over the world to learn how to imaginatively code and what we call creative coding. And there is this MiRo Cloud platform that we have invented that anyone anywhere in the world can use. They can learn to code on it. They can code quite sophisticated levels, and they have this digital twin avatar of a MiRo which they can program to do stuff. So you don't have to be have a real MiRo, as I was saying. You can have this digital twin MiRo. And so we've opened up this competition for people to look at the MiRo and to think, what could I use a MiRo for that would improve the quality of people's lives? And that is what we're trying to do with robotics. See how we can use robotics to improve the qualities of people's lives, make them feel safer, make them take away some of the less pleasant tasks in their lives, dirty, dangerous and dull tasks, the 3Ds. So we have created this competition with you guys that allows people free access to a very, very powerful cloud computer, which through the portal called MiRo Cloud, and they are able to do some coding, some early coding. And what we're going to do is pick up the best bits of code that people have entered, and on the basis of what is the most original, the most imaginative and the most thorough and rigorous use of the MiRo Cloud. And we've only allowed people 20 hours worth of coding, so to keep an even playing field. And then we're going to see the top 5 tomorrow, and we're going to think, which one do we think is the best? And the best one, wherever they are throughout the world, will get a MiRo E, the latest MiRo E, complete with support, complete with 500 hours of online coding, and that will be the gift. In addition, the shortlist, the top 5 people, the other 4 will also be given access to the MiRo Cloud for 500 hours. So that's 10 hours a week for a whole year, basically. So we're really looking forward to tomorrow and seeing what people have done, because we've had a huge amount of interest in this, great number of participants. So, I hope I'm going to be able to sleep tonight.
Well, Conran, we thank you so much for allowing GIFT to be part of that competition and part of helping students across the world code. Jake, how many different countries, do you recall, did we have entries from? Was it 6?
No, it's embarrassing. I wrote it down, but I didn't add it up. Hold on a second.
We had quite a few different countries, which you never know when you put up a competition what you're going to end up getting. And we were very excited at the numbers that came in of the students across the world.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sierra, in no particular order: Sierra Leone, China, United States, United Kingdom, Indonesia, Canada, Sweden, Syrian Arab Republic, and South Africa.
Oh, that was more than 6.
That was more than 6.
It was very cool.
Oh, we sell a lot of MiRos in Australia as well. Okay. Any questions for anyone?
Oh, I do have a question, but it's not about MiRo.
We have 1 minute left.
I have a question about your buddy bracelet. Where are you in the production of that? Is that something that's available now or soon?
It's not as sophisticated as the one I showed you just then, but it's out now at buddi, buddi.com, and it's been available for about 6 years now, I think. But I think it only works in the UK because you need to have a monitoring system.
So then I can send my mother over there with you, yes?
Yes, yeah. My mother wears one. I mean, it's I know what she's doing in the home because, of course, it tracks movement, and so for me, it's very reassuring because I know she's up. It's 5:30, and I can sort of occasionally she'll bang her buddy into something, but I can ring her up and check she's okay and that she hasn't fallen down the stairs or something.
I find that that's a really cool invention. I mean, if anybody at home has an elderly parent that they worry about like that, it's a lot, probably less of a conflict to get them to wear a bracelet than it is to get them to wear the big necklaces that they have out there. Do you have any plans to make that available outside of the UK? Or do you know of other organizations that do the same thing?
I think there are similar ones. I can't name them at the moment, but I'm sure if you look online, you'll find them. I think the important thing is that social care and healthcare is a huge opportunity for autonomous robots to be of benefit to mankind.
Yeah, I agree.
Very good. Well, thank you very much, Sebastian. Thank you. That was incredible. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow and watching all the top finalists present what they have done. By the way, I've seen some of their coding and it's really impressive. So
Can't wait.
Yeah, anyone, please come and tune in. And that will be at 10 o'clock New York time. That is 3 o'clock UK time. And everyone else has to adjust accordingly for that. And that'll be tomorrow, Sunday, the October 11th. Thank you very much, Sebastian.
Thank you, Sebastian. It was a great opportunity.
Privileged to participate. Thank you. Bye-bye.